name's Deanne Kelly, and welcome to an all-seated Parkinson's fitness class. So I invite you to do what you can do. Maybe you skip certain activities, certain exercises, and maybe you do a little bit more. It's my bird clock. We'll go ahead and start seated. I'm going to do the whole thing seated, but you are welcome to come up to standing. So this is going to be a shorter version of what I usually offer in my Parkinson's fitness classes. So we want to feel aligned, pressing the feet into the floor gently without gripping the toes. You have your ankles right below your knees in alignment with your hips, shoulders right over those hips. Feel the length in your spine, axial extension as you're breathing. So this is more or less a relaxed pose in alignment. Okay, take a couple more breaths, so belly's rising with your inhale. And softening, relaxing with your exhale. So that just kind of switches modes from thinking and doing and getting here and figuring out technology and whatnot to being present. And that's what we want. We want to be mindful with everything we do. So this is a good practice to incorporate that. So if you have a strap, we'll be using that. I have some soup cans here for lighter weights. These guys are 15 ounces. And then water or something to stay hydrated. And you might want your assistant as well. So this is Claire, she's here to help. Remind us to do nothing sometimes. All right, so we'll start with the 6 movements of the spine, getting nice and tall. Keep that axial extension in your spine and twist to your right. So mind your limitations. If you're a little, you have a fusion or anything going on in your back, you're gonna wanna do less. If you want to deepen the stretch, take your right hand behind you. I'm mirroring you. So right hand behind you to get a little bit more into the twist. And this is really nice for that trunk rotation. You're still breathing really deeply through the midsection of the body. So the abdomen, we have the sides of the body filling up and the low back. Keeping the shoulders relaxed and down. Let's take it to the other side. So back to the center. When you're ready to exhale, go ahead and twist to your left. And remember to mind your low back. It's okay to do less if you're going into pain. We don't want to do that. When you're ready to inhale again, come back to the center. We're going to exhale and lean forward just a little bit, testing the water. See how your back is feeling. Inhale and come back up. So if you need to widen the stance, widen the distance between your feet to leave space for the body, that's a nice idea too. We're doing it one more time. So exhale, lean forward. Inhale, coming back up. You can keep your feet wide or take them back in front of you. As long as your ankles are right below your knees and you're not tucking your feet back like that. So this provides more stability. Excuse me. All right, shoulders stay stacked over the hips. And we'll start out easy and go a little side to side. So this is lateral stretching for the spine. Maybe we do a little bit more, pick up an elbow. I'll show you from the side too. So it's perfectly lateral and not leaning forward. So we want to really get stretching through the ribs and then into the spine. And let's deepen this stretch here. So I'm going to start with the right hand and anchor into this chair with the other hand. So I want to first get some length in that arm, right? And then a little bit more of a reach. Re-lengthen the arm and reach again to your comfort level. Maybe you have one more in you. Reach, extend that arm, and ooh, nice lateral stretch here. Before you come up, engage those abdominals to help. And release your arm. Feel the difference. We'll do the same on the other side, unless of course you have an injury, then you will opt out or do less. So extend that arm and get a nice little arch. Re-extend and arch. No tension in the neck. Re-extend and arch. Fire up your stomach muscles. In, come back. Ooh, that feels nice. Okay, let's do a variation of cat-cow. So you might notice I'll weave in a little yoga. That's my original background. I'm going to scoot as far back as I can so I can feel the support of the chair. Oh, I have the limitation of the wall behind me. Well, hopefully you don't. So I'm going to lift up through the sternum and not so much the ribs. Open those arms. We want them way pulling back. Start with your abdominals pulling in, and we're coming forward. No pressure on that head. So the fingers are just loosely hanging out back there behind the head. Your inhale is here. Core is engaged. Exhale, coming into your version of cat. Oh, my voice cut out. Cat pose. So this would be cow. And this is cat pose on the exhale. Again, remember not to pull on your head. And then let's come back to neutral. Release your arms. Let's roll those shoulders back one at a time. You can start to get a little bigger in your movements. And again, if you have that limitation of the wall behind you, scoot forward. And you can start to look back too. Alright, let's do one more. Group, bring it back. And then check in with your neck. To reduce stiffness, we'll hold these poses, these stretches a little bit longer than you may like, but it's beneficial. So we're going to take chin down, make sure shoulders stay stacked over hips. And just be here with the breath. If your mind starts to travel around, you can guide it back to the breath and into the sensations that you feel in the stretch. You can look up just a little bit. So chin comes up, shoulders stay down. So what we don't want is to feel crunching the little cervical vertebra. So just lifting your chin a bit. You want to bring in a stretch. So what I do is kind of close my teeth and lift up through my chin. And then let's do one more. Chin coming down toward the chest. And you're just enjoying the breath, enjoying feeling the stretch. And one more lift. Excuse me. All right, chin parallel to the floor. And we're leaving the shoulders down. Now, I keep saying it because the shoulders are going to want to, especially if you're tight, they're going to want to follow where your gaze is going. So we're going to try to look just to your right and let the left shoulder drop down and away. Breathe with what you feel here. Gently bring your gaze back across and over to the other side. Now we're focusing on right shoulder drawing down and relaxing away from the ear. Come on back to your neutral. And you could do it again on both sides if you like, but this is a video. You could always pause it and do it again, or I hate to tell you, you could speed these up because a longer, slower hold is more beneficial. So this time we're going to tilt the right ear over the shoulder. So you want to feel like your left ear is waiting for a raindrop. And right now, I know I wish we had some rain outside. It's been probably a month or so. So I'm extending this arm out to the side. That would be your left arm. Palm facing forward. It's about 45 degrees. Maybe circle it behind you. We're going to relax that hand back onto the lap. Find your right fingers to help your head come back on straight. Good. Shrug and release. Feel free to take a drink at any point. Staying hydrated. All right, realign, shoulders over hips, tilting, head, not shoulders too. So you want to keep everything stabilized so that stretch will happen. All right, we're doing, what is that? Your left ear over the left shoulder and the right ear is up. Waiting for a raindrop. We're going to extend that arm. You can hold it here. If that feels like a really nice stretch, stay there. If you want to do a little movement, we're circling backwards. Okay, one more circle. Make sure you're breathing. Hand rests back onto your lap. We'll take these fingers and bring the head on straight and shrug again. Let it go. Shrug again. Group. Let it go. All right. Since we're doing all seated today, we'll do what we can to stretch the back of the legs. And I'm scooting forward as much as your chair will allow. So you want to feel safe, right? You don't want to feel like you're tipping forward. I'm just going to slide that right leg forward onto the floor. Heels down, toes up. And if it works with your chair, if you have an armrest, you can push down into the armrest. We want to make sure your left foot is solid and into the floor with your ankle right below the knee. And pushing into the chair to elevate the spine. So in yoga we call this, it's a variation of staff pose, and it's really nice to help posture. So really actively pulling those toes back. I'm trying to stretch through the back of this leg. And breathing. And you can let go. I like to bring that leg back and hug it in because, you know, the chair doesn't feel that great. So this knee hug, you can go back and forth first. This is a great stretch for your glute. And it also helps your back and digestive system. And you can hold on in front of your knee like I'm doing or underneath your knee. Find your range of motion that feels right. And maybe we hold here. If you're feeling really tight in a good way, you can hold. But sometimes what happens if we bring the face in toward the knee, you might feel a sharp pain, so be very careful of that. I'm going to drop that leg. Let's do the same sequence on the other side. So we're just going to stretch left foot forward, pulling your toes back, and make sure you have that stabilizing leg here in alignment. Push down into the chair to elevate the spine. Axial extension. Feel like my ears are pulling up. Pull those toes back. You want to feel a stretch somewhere, right? Sometimes we're tighter in the calf. Excuse me. And sometimes we're tighter on the whole hamstring or the whole back of the leg. Let's release out of that and bring in that knee hug. We'll flow back and forth a little bit like we did on the other side. Finding some movement first, and then we'll hold into the stretch. While we breathe, deep belly breathing. And then let's scoot all the way back. I'd like to get the ankles because it's the first line of defense is popping into my head. But our ankles are like shock absorbers. When they're loose enough, we don't want them too loose because stability is a good thing. So when they're flexible, we'll just go ahead and do this one, yakking away, point and flex. Then it gives the knees a break and the hips. And in turn, maybe even the low back, right? We keep our shock absorbers working well and hydrated, so movement helps. Hydration, drinking lots of fluids help. Okay, we've circled around a couple times in each direction, and we can lower it down. Excuse me again. Pointing and flexing your other foot. And you really want to find your range of motion that works well for you. So sometimes I see people just kind of whipping through it. So you want to pull the toes all the way back and then pull them all the way forward. If you're prone to foot cramps, you can do a little bit less. And then we'll circle. And making sure it is your ankle joint indeed, and not your whole leg, because sometimes this will happen. So stabilizing the leg and just moving the ankle. Scoot that leg back down, and we'll come forward and get ready to do a little work. And I don't edit my videos, so you get to watch me drink my hydration. All right, and hopefully you'll take drink breaks as well. So we're gonna start with the feet wide. A wide base lets us feel a little bit more stable. We're gonna start with our power moves. So we can reach the hands forward. My hands are wide spread open. I'm gonna reach forward, that's the exhale. You should feel stable here. So only reaching far as you're comfortable. On the inhale, we're gonna open those arms up nice and wide. We should do about 10 of these. There's 2, 3. You could do these standing. 4, 5. You could do them walking. 6, 7, 8, 9. Remember to breathe really big. And 10. Open those arms up. If you need a break, drop your arms. But I'm going to go right into the twist, the power twist. So let's start by picking up the right heel. We're going to drop the right knee in if it feels okay. Tag that onto every sentence I'm saying. So we're going to take that right arm and reach all the way over and clap the left hand. And open all the way up. This is the key right here. Really nice posture enforcer. Picking up left heel, drop the left knee in, and we're reaching over to twist and open all the way up. So what happens sometimes is the heel picks up, we're rotating, and it's easy to do this. You're bringing both your hands across. Now that's cheating. So we want to keep posture muscles engaged back there and come over to the other side. This arm is glued to the imaginary wall, and this arm is moving. So we want to keep the eyes following the hands. Keep breathing. Keep wide spread open fingers. Ooh, and if I had an assistant, they would be counting how many reps we did. So let's just go ahead and do 1 more to each side. I don't know about you, but I need a break on these shoulders, so I'm just going to wiggle everything out. Ugh. All right. And yes, you can balance seated, so that's where we're going next with our power rock. So you can start out nice and easy. It's weight shifting, right? So you take it to your comfort level. So as I'm reaching over, I can feel my abdominals work. That's part of the core that helps with balance. Okay, feels good. So I'm going to take it to the next level. I'm going to reach up with that left hand and look up. I'm going to reach, and maybe my other hand comes out to the side. And reach. I'm counting this time. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You want full extension of those arms. 8, 9, 10. We're going for 20. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. I should probably have said this before, but you want to count out loud, and that works your voice. We want to keep working those vocal cords. Okay, so power step. I snuck my feet in front of me, so there's a lot of different variations of your power step that we could take. So today, let's do in, out, out. So I'm just gonna pick up the knees as high as I can. And sometimes this happens, right? We wanna try to get those knees up, so we bring the upper body toward the knees. We don't wanna do that. So you wanna keep the posture nice and tall. Use your core muscles and your hip muscles. bring those legs up. Nothing should hurt here. If it does, do less or skip it all together. So our in, out, out is gonna look like this. In, out, out. In, out, out. I'm not gonna stomp because it will drown me out, my voice. So go ahead and if you're comfortable stomping, if you don't have downstairs neighbors, and that will help to build a little bone density, right? So we're firing up those osteoblasts. And practice bringing, when you're doing your in, you're gonna practice leaving your feet about that distance apart, hip distance, and not all the way together. You wanna try to get some height in those knees. Out, out, in. You wanna feel solid into the floor. If you're not able to stomp, just try not to love tap the floor. Let's do 4 more. 3, speeding it up. 2, 1. Ooh, all right. I'm gonna scoot back and let's bring some neutrality into that pelvis. So a little cat-cow here with the hand variation where we're on the lap with the hands. I'm gonna exhale and arch the spine a little bit. Inhale, lift up through the heart. All right, maybe 1 more. And then we better grab our soup cans. All right, you can grab these guys. I'm sitting on the edge here. Find your posture. We'll just start with some bicep curls. Now, if you tend to hyperextend your arms, we're not going to go to full extension. Maybe a little bit less than full extension with your arms. So you want to think about, I like to imagine the weight's way more than they do. Squeezing your biceps, your lemons right there, and then inhale and open. Here's 2, 3, 4. You could leave out the cans and just use your imagination. 5, 6, especially if you have an injury. 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll go to 12. 11 and 12. Okay. So yeah, like I was saying, so you don't have to use weights if you don't have weights, or you could use a little bit heavier weights if you're used to it. You just want to be careful of your joints. So we're going to take the arms out, the cactus arms, and see if we want to bring them in toward each other. Inhale and open. Again, for posture. You can tuck your chin here and inhale and open. And 2 more. Inhale, open, and release. Release those arms. Grab the soup cans. I have black bean cans. We'll do a little bit of boxing. It's added weight, so again, be careful of your joints. You don't need these. But if you're working on building a little strength and muscle tone, then great. So if you were standing, you'd have your legs in boxing stance. I'm just going to keep my legs in ready stance and throw some straight punches. So I'm moving my arms straight out as far as they'll go, no higher than the shoulder, and my knuckles are on top. So you'll see that I'm twisting my hands, the soup can is on the bottom, and it's core. You could bring in more of a reach, which is lovely, right? You could block your punches, or you want to block your face from someone else's punches. That's a good habit to get into if you're going to stick around with boxing. So blocking your face, coming back to that. So we'll call these straight punches. And then we're going to come back and throw a jab. So the jab is with your left hand. I'm not mirroring you here. So the jab is straight out and coming back. I'm going to go ahead and set the soup cans down and focus more on more of a traditional method here. So a jab. It's straight out and it's pulling back. Jab. It's a pop in the nose to your opponent. Jab, jab. And I can feel my core working here. Jab, jab. If you have another person that is willing to hold a pillow or something for you to hit gently, not too hard, then that's always fun too. It makes an element of fun. So let's do our cross. So we're going to start with the right hand. If we were standing, we would pivot. We'd pick up the heel and pivot and throw that cross. Cross, cross. So jab is straight out and back. The cross, you're reaching over and throwing your whole weight. So if you're standing, you throw your weight into it. Starting with your heel. Bam, bam. And it's nice to make a noise or count on your exhale as you're throwing that punch. Bam, bam, bam. All right, 2 more. That's the inner cartoon character of me coming out. Okay, we'll do a few more and then we'll do our final stretches. So this is your starting point always. You want to come back to protecting your face. Let's throw some hooks. So we're gonna let's bring the right arm out, or your left arm traditionally, and throw that hook. Right, you wanna stop. You're imagining hitting someone, your opponent, in the face, and then coming back. So throw your hook. I'm firming up the core here as I do that imaginary stop. So sometimes I'll see this and it's just fluffy and light. You'll get the benefits of a movement, but you're not getting the benefits of strength. So that's what we want. We want to fire up the core and the arms. Let's do 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, and coming back. If you're not wearing boxing gloves, which I didn't instruct to put them on, you probably don't have them on, just give your hands a little stretch. You can bring your palms together, give them a press, shake them out, and then we'll continue. So let's do the right hook. So arm comes up. I can see my fingers and my thumb. So if I were holding a pitcher or a nice flower, that's how you would hold it, right like that. So I'm not sure if you can see that on the video. And then you can throw your hook, come back, hook. If you're rather new, you might say what you're throwing. So hook, hook, hook. And that way you'll be able to remember a little easier when we start doing combos. Let's do 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. There, come back, shake those hands out. Yay. All right. We'll continue on with other punches. We'll do that another time. So I want to be able to get in some more important stretches here right before we finish up. So if you have your strap, we'll grab that. If not, you can use an imaginary strap. Also, if you're taking care of any joint problems, and especially your shoulders, your neck, your back, you might not want to use a strap because it adds a little bit more depth into the stretch. So we're going to take it out. I'm holding onto the buckle so I don't whack myself in the head. So I'm pulling it nice and tight and lifting up. If you're going into pain, shame on you. You don't want to go there. So if you have shoulder limitations, maybe you stop halfway. You want to go right before you go into pain. So all the way up if you can. Firm up those stomach muscles. And we'll go a little side to side here. Good. All right. And then let's do 1 more. Over there. And then we're going to take the strap in your, we'll say, I'll mirror you, so in your right hand, and then let it come behind your head. Right, so if some people are really stiff and you want to stay here, maybe the hand rests on top of your head, but the lazy elbow here coming forward, I can see it in my peripherals, we want to activate it back. Pull the elbow back. I'm going to start to climb my hands back down toward my neck. I'm noticing all this is coming out, so I'm going to draw it in for support. Another thing you can do, I'm still holding the strap with that hand that's behind me. You can prepare this arm by grabbing a hold of your elbow gently and pulling it up toward the ceiling. Keep your chin parallel to the floor. And maybe you reach back with your free hand and grab the strap. You should be able to breathe comfortably here. This is a deeper stretch. In yoga we call it Gomukhasana, or cow face pose. So don't feel bad if this is your first time doing it. You might not be able to go very far at all. And some people are so flexible that they can touch their fingers, and that's fine. It's all good. We're going to let go of the bottom hand. Very slowly, gently release the top hand. And I like to gather the strap and use it as a little bitty weight. So I'm going to lean forward and just circle that shoulder out. Like a pendulum or an empty sleeve. All right, let's do the same thing on the other side. So I'm holding on to the buckle of the strap in the other hand. So that would be your left hand, bringing it behind your head. So the strap's mirroring your spine. Let your hand rest on your head, start there. And then maybe let your hand come down towards your neck, chin parallel to the floor. Meaning we're not like this, trying to hurry up and get the hand back there, right? You want to keep up nice and tall. Let your elbows start to move back and up. Draw the ribs in. Maybe we take this little free hand and reach up and grab the strap. Again, it shouldn't hurt. There should be no pinching. It should feel like a nice stretch. How's your breath? Alright, let's release bottom hand. Release your top hand. Gather the strap. And we'll let go of that shoulder tension. Circling, releasing. Throw it off to the side. Find a new position in the chair. Good. And then we'll twist one more time. Really nice for digestion. Get things moving. So twisting to your right. Back to the center. Twist to your left. Back to your center. And then you can rest in your chair. We'll just take a good, 3 breaths is a great place to start if you're newer to meditation. So see if you can hold your attention on the breath for just 3 breaths. So that's an inhale and an exhale counts as 1. My 3 breaths, and I want to thank you for watching the video and maybe getting a good workout. So thank you.